One execution, one mistake, humanity's arrival burned the galaxy. They were all here to see the end of a human, a species they thought weak and finished. Ethan Cole stood in the center. He was thin, bruised, and bleeding from many wounds. His hands were tied, his head bowed. He did not struggle, and he did not plead. The crowd whispered and murmured, their voices mixing with the hum of machines above. "This is the one," a tall alien said. Its voice was sharp, like glass breaking. "This human caused too much trouble. He interfered in our colonies. He tried to help his people escape our control. Now he will pay." Ethan did not respond. He only looked at the floor, then slowly lifted his eyes. He did not show fear. Some of the aliens leaned forward, confused by his calmness. They expected panic, screams, maybe tears. Instead, they saw a human who seemed untouchable in his silence. The executioner, a massive alien with armored skin and glowing red eyes, stepped forward. It carried a long, curved blade that shimmered under the hall lights. The crowd cheered quietly. To them, this would be the final act. The human would die and the galaxy would celebrate. Ethan was placed on the platform. A device was attached to his neck to hold him still. He could feel the cold metal press against his skin, but he did not flinch. The crowd chattered nervously. They had never seen a human this calm at the moment of death. "Any last words?" the executioner asked, its voice echoing across the hall. Ethan smiled slightly. It was faint, almost invisible, but it was there. "You will regret this," he said quietly. The words were soft, almost a whisper. Some aliens laughed. They thought the human was trying to be brave. No one understood the weight of his words. The council signaled. A red light blinked and the blade lifted high. All eyes followed the movement. The human would die in a moment, and history would remember this as a lesson for anyone who dared challenge the council. Ethan closed his eyes. He could feel the wind of the blade as it moved. But then something strange happened. A small device on his wrist activated. It was hidden under his sleeve. It sent a signal, a faint pulse, far beyond the council halls, far beyond the known galaxy. No one noticed. The crowd cheered, the executioner prepared to strike, and the council waited for the end. But deep in space, something stirred. Old ships long forgotten started to hum. Automated defense systems on hidden worlds turned on. Lights blinked in empty corridors. Humanity was waking up. The blade fell. The hall erupted in noise. Aliens shouted, cheered, and slapped each other on the backs. It was done. The human was gone. Ethan Cole's body lay still, but the signal he sent had already left. It traveled faster than anything the council could track. Far away on a small hidden station, a human named Lucas Gray felt the pulse in his control panel. He had not heard from Ethan for decades. He thought the human observer was gone, lost, maybe dead. But the signal told him something different. Humanity had been waiting. Humanity was ready. "They executed him," Lucas whispered to himself. His hands trembled slightly. "They do not know what they have done." On the other side of the galaxy, Captain Noah Carter received the same signal. He had trained for this moment his entire life, though he did not know it. Humanity's fleets had waited in the shadows, hidden in dead zones, cloaked in old technology. Now the call had come. Claire Bennett, a young strategist, sat in her command room. She checked the coordinates again and again. The signal was precise, almost impossible. The council had no idea it existed. It was designed that way. Humanity had built a network that could survive any attack, any war, any attempt to erase it from the stars. "Prepare the fleets," Claire said quietly but with authority. Her voice echoed through the empty room. Machines hummed, computers turned on, and lights flashed. Humanity was ready to move. Back at the council hall, no one realized what had happened. The execution was celebrated in messages sent to all worlds. Banners were raised and parades were planned. Alien leaders sent congratulations to each other. They thought they had finished the human problem. They did not understand that they had only awakened it. Ethan Cole's body was taken away. Medical teams examined it, but there was nothing unusual. He looked like a normal human. They did not know he carried the spark of revenge and protection inside him. The council thought humans were weak, fragile, and short-lived. They had forgotten one rule: humans survive, adapt, and remember. In deep space, hidden bases came alive. Ships older than some stars lit their engines. Weapons systems powered on. Logs from past human explorers, hidden on dead planets, activated. Humanity had left traces not as threats but as insurance. They never expected to need it, but they had prepared for this day. Lucas Gray looked at the screens, his face calm but serious. He thought of Ethan and he thought of humanity. One execution had changed everything. Decades of waiting, planning, and patience had led to this moment. The galaxy was about to learn a lesson it would not forget. "We move tonight," Lucas said. The room was silent, machines humming in response. "We move tonight, but carefully. We are not here to destroy everything. Only those who caused this mistake will understand the price." Captain Noah Carter checked his fleet. Hundreds of ships hidden for centuries waited in the void. The engines were silent, sensors inactive, cloaking devices ready. The humans had watched, studied, and learned the alien methods. Now they would use knowledge the galaxy never knew existed. Claire Bennett projected maps on the walls. The council worlds, the fleets, the communication hubs, all marked in red. "We strike where they think we are weakest," she said, "but we will move faster than their minds can follow." Far from the council, alien worlds experienced strange glitches. Communications failed, satellites vanished, and alarms rang with no reason. Some worlds thought it was a bug in their system. None realized that humanity was already in position, moving silently, waiting for the moment to make their presence known. The council celebrated Ethan Cole's death. Feasts were held, songs were sung. Children were taught to fear humans. History would remember this as the day a human died, the day the council won. But in secret, humanity was awake. Lucas Gray, Noah Carter, Claire Bennett, and others waited for the signal to strike. It had been sent by Ethan, a human who had known his death would be necessary. One life, one sacrifice, had triggered the return of humanity. Ethan Cole's name would not be forgotten by humans. His calmness, his courage, and his understanding of what needed to be done would live on in the minds of those who carried the fleets. He had given humanity a gift. The galaxy, however, would pay for the council's mistake. As the hall emptied, aliens spoke of the victory. Some even laughed at the thought of human revenge. None suspected that a small, faint signal, invisible to their eyes, had already begun moving across the stars. Humanity was coming, and when humanity came, the galaxy would burn, not out of anger, but out of necessity. One execution, one mistake, had started a chain of events no one could stop. Deep in space, hidden worlds glowed faintly as ancient systems powered on. Ships hummed and weapons warmed. Centuries of preparation, patience, and observation were ready to move. Lucas Gray looked at the fleet one last time. The human eyes in every ship reflected the same thought. This galaxy would learn the cost of underestimating humans. And somewhere in the void, Ethan Cole's final message pulsed, a quiet reminder to all humans watching. One execution is enough to awaken the species. The stars waited, the galaxy unaware, and humanity's shadow stretched across the void. Tonight, everything would begin. Days had passed since Ethan Cole's execution, and the galaxy still celebrated the Council's victory. Parades were held on dozens of worlds. Alien leaders sent messages of triumph. They believed the human problem was over. They were wrong. In deep space, things began to change. Listening stations on the edges of known space went silent. Supply fleets traveling between colonies disappeared without a trace. Sensors detected strange energy spikes in places where no ships or planets existed. Alarms rang across empty star systems. No one understood what was happening. On Earth, Admiral Lucas Gray studied the reports with a quiet but sharp focus. He sat in his command room, a place filled with glowing screens and silent machines. His eyes moved from report to report. Every strange signal, every missing ship, every unexplained anomaly pointed to one conclusion. Humanity's time had come. "They triggered it," Lucas whispered. His hands rested on the desk. "They executed him. Now the galaxy will pay attention." Captain Noah Carter stood beside him, watching the map. Fleets were scattered across space, some on routine patrols, others in far systems, but all were hidden, waiting. "What exactly are we looking for?" he asked. Claire Bennett, the strategist, pointed at the map. "The signal Ethan sent activated our old systems. Long-range bases, legacy fleets, defense platforms, they are coming online. We need to understand their position before the Council does." The Council had not noticed anything yet. On their worlds, leaders met, discussed, and laughed at the supposed final defeat of humans. They did not see the small pulses of energy that moved faster than their fastest sensors. They did not see fleets that had been hidden for centuries, turning their engines on silently in the void. Far from Earth, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks checked the systems on a forgotten station. It had been abandoned for decades, but now lights flickered, doors opened, and systems hummed. Weapons powered up, shields charged, and old communication arrays reached into the stars. Ryan felt a chill in his chest. Humanity had prepared for this moment, and it had come without warning. "All stations report active," Ryan said into his communicator. "Legacy fleets online and ready." On the command deck of one of the hidden human ships, engineer Emma Ross adjusted a console. "All cloaking devices functioning," she said. "No alien sensors can detect us." She smiled faintly, proud of the work that had been done long before anyone thought it would be needed. "Good," Lucas Gray said. He turned to the map again. "Our first move is simple. We test their response. We do not destroy yet. We show them we are back and we are stronger than they imagined." The fleet moved slowly at first, staying near dark regions of space. Jump drives were ready, but no one jumped yet. Humanity had patience. They would strike not out of anger, but to send a message. The Council had executed Ethan Cole, thinking humans were weak. They had made a mistake. On a small colony near the edge of the Council's space, alarm sirens suddenly rang. Communication networks failed. Supply ships disappeared from records. The Council sent investigators, but they found nothing. They could not understand that humans had already been there, scanning, observing, and leaving hidden messages. "What is happening?" Governor Tarek asked. His voice was shaky. He watched the empty view screens. Ships should have been there, but they were gone. "Where are the fleets?" "They are not fleets we know," one officer replied. "We cannot see them, cannot track them. Our sensors fail." Back on Earth, Lucas Gray gave his orders. "Begin small strikes. Test the Council's reaction. We take only minimal action. Remember, this is a warning, not a war, yet." Captain Noah Carter led the first mission. 3 ships moved into a Council supply corridor. Cloaked, they disabled communications, scrambled navigation, and left no signs of damage. When the Council fleets arrived, they found empty corridors and malfunctioning equipment. Panic began to spread. "How is this possible?" Commander Varric asked, staring at the sensors. "Our patrols were here, systems show nothing." "They are human," another officer whispered. No one wanted to admit it, but the possibility was growing. Humans, the species they had thought destroyed. In another sector, scientist Lisa Moore studied intercepted signals. She had noticed patterns, small, irregular pulses in the data. She did not know what they were, but she could sense the intelligence behind them. It was deliberate, precise, and patient. Humanity had not rushed. They had waited. "Something is moving against us," Lisa said quietly. "And they are careful. They are not attacking blindly. They are testing us." Back on Earth, Claire Bennett mapped the Council's response. Every failed sensor, every missing supply convoy, every strange anomaly gave humanity more information. They learned about the Council's tactics, their weaknesses, and the overconfidence that had grown after Ethan's execution. Lucas Gray watched quietly. He thought of Ethan Cole and his calm smile before the execution. One human had been enough to wake the species. One mistake and the galaxy had been seen through new eyes. "Ready the jump drives," Lucas said at last. "We move closer to the Council worlds, but remain unseen. We will not strike yet. We observe. We prepare. Patience is our weapon." On a remote observation station, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks activated long-range sensors. Fleets moved like shadows in the distance. Human ships appeared briefly on outdated star maps, then vanished again. The Council had no idea how fast humanity could move. Centuries of planning had led to this moment. In Council halls, panic grew. Communications networks were unstable. Patrol ships reported empty space where convoys should have been. Planets began to feel small shocks of energy, strange and unexplained. Rumors spread among the aliens that humans were returning. Many laughed at the thought. Humans were weak, they thought. They were gone. But the small Council worlds, those who had cheered Ethan's death, began to feel a creeping unease. Supply lines failed. Fleets could not reach colonies. Communication was intermittent. They could not explain why. The galaxy, for the first time in centuries, felt fragile. "It is too quiet," Commander Varric said, pacing. "The humans, they should not exist, yet something is happening. Something we cannot see." Back on Earth, Lucas Gray smiled faintly. "Exactly as Ethan predicted," he said. He looked at Noah Carter and Claire Bennett. "They think we are weak. They do not know we are ready. They do not know what patience means." Noah Carter nodded. "And soon they will learn." Over the next days, human fleets activated more hidden bases. Weapons that had been buried for centuries powered on silently. Small fleets moved to strategic points, always careful not to be detected. Intelligence reports were sent back to Earth, where analysts mapped every weakness of the Council's fleets, every blind spot in their communication, every planet that had grown overconfident in safety. Emergency councils were called on many worlds. Alien leaders argued, blamed each other, and grew fearful. They had thought humanity gone forever. They had celebrated Ethan Cole's death. Now they did not know where humans might strike next, and fear spread faster than any fleet could move. On Earth, Lucas Gray stood before a large map of the galaxy. Lines showed the paths of hidden fleets, pulses of energy, and areas of interference in council systems. "This is just the beginning," he said quietly. "We have begun. Patience and observation first. Warning second. Punishment comes later if needed. One mistake was enough to wake humanity. Now the galaxy will learn to respect us." Claire Bennett nodded, projecting a simulation of the council worlds. "We see their reaction, their fear. Every anomaly teaches us more. Every missing ship is a lesson for them. And every world that doubted humans will pay attention," Lucas added. "Ethan's death has begun the largest lesson in history." Further out, human reconnaissance ships observed council patrols. They moved unseen, recording fleet positions, patrol schedules, and supply routes. The galaxy was mapped in detail. Humanity's intelligence was careful, patient, and precise. They were not here to destroy yet. They were here to teach the cost of underestimating humans. On the council worlds, discussions turned to fear. Reports of missing ships and strange energy pulses spread quickly. Some worlds began to prepare for a possible human attack. Others still laughed at the idea. They thought humans could not return. They were wrong. And in the silence of deep space, hidden human bases waited. Engines were ready, weapons systems charged, communications networks active. Humanity had been sleeping for decades, watching, learning, and waiting for the moment the galaxy would make a mistake. The execution of Ethan Cole was that mistake. The galaxy had started a chain of events that could not be stopped. Lucas Gray looked at the stars through a viewport. Each star, each planet, each system was part of the lesson to come. "The galaxy thinks it is safe," he said softly. "They do not know we have already arrived." And humanity had arrived. Silently, carefully, unseen, but everywhere in the shadow of the galaxy. The pulse that Ethan Cole sent had reached every corner of human knowledge. Fleets moved, systems woke, and a small warning began to spread. One human had been executed. One mistake had awakened an entire species. And the galaxy was about to feel the weight of that decision humanity had waited. For decades, they had watched, learned, and prepared. Now hidden fleets moved closer to the core worlds of the Council. They had not rushed. They had been patient. But now the galaxy would feel their presence. Captain Noah Carter stood on the bridge of his ship. The stars outside glowed faintly as sensors scanned the Council space. "We are in range," he said. "No alarms have been triggered yet." Claire Bennett, sitting at the strategy console, looked at the map. "Our targets are lightly defended. They believe no human fleets exist. We can observe, test, and strike where it counts." Admiral Lucas Gray nodded. "Remember, we do not destroy yet. Our first moves are warnings. We show them we are here, stronger than they imagined. We do not waste lives unnecessarily." The first human ships entered the Council's space quietly. Cloaking devices hid them, and outdated jump routes helped them appear in unexpected locations. Alien sensors detected nothing. Fleets that had once believed the humans were gone now had no idea that they were already surrounded. On the Council's patrol hub, Commander Varric noticed strange readings. Fleets that should have been in the corridor were missing. Sensors flickered, ships disappeared from records. "What is happening?" he asked. "This cannot be possible." "It is them," a young officer whispered. "Humans, they have returned." Varric laughed nervously. "Humans, that is impossible. They were defeated decades ago. Their fleets were destroyed. They are gone." But no one understood that humans did not rush into war. They were precise. They moved silently, and they were patient. Centuries of preparation had given them the advantage. The Council had no idea what was coming. Far away, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks observed a Council trade convoy. It was massive, carrying supplies between worlds. His ship remained hidden, cloaked, and silent. He activated a signal jammer and communication disruptor. Suddenly, the convoy was cut off from its command. Sensors failed and navigation systems glitched. The Council ship sent scouts to investigate, but they found nothing. The convoy slowed, confused, and eventually drifted to a stop. Humanity had not destroyed the ships. They had simply demonstrated that they could appear anywhere and interfere without warning. The Council began to worry. On a planet that had supported Ethan Cole's execution, civilians noticed strange lights in orbit. Patrols reported missing ships. Communications went silent. The Council sent more ships, but human fleets appeared in unexpected locations, always invisible until they chose to reveal themselves. Fear spread quickly. "They are ghosts," Commander Varric said. "They should not exist, yet they move faster, strike harder, and remain unseen." Back on Earth, Lucas Gray watched the Council's response on the holographic map. "Good," he said. "They are learning to fear us. They are beginning to see the cost of their mistake. Remember, no one dies yet unless necessary. We teach first." Claire Bennett activated a simulation showing multiple Council worlds. Small strikes disabled defenses, scrambled sensors, and cut communications. No planet was destroyed. Humanity's goal was simple: make the Council understand that humans were back, and they were stronger than any enemy expected. "They think they control the galaxy," Claire said, "but they are blind to what is already here." The first visible strike occurred near a Council supply hub. A small human fleet appeared briefly, enough to be seen on sensors, then vanished again. The Council commanders were shocked. Fleets reported seeing ships for a few seconds, then disappearing. The human ships had no intention of destroying the hub, but the warning was clear. Humans could appear anywhere. On a remote colony, scientist Lisa Moore analyzed the signals. "They are testing us," she said. "They are not attacking blindly. They know our strengths and weaknesses. They move with intelligence and patience. Humans have returned as a force we cannot predict." Every Council fleet that tried to chase or intercept human ships failed. The humans moved faster, appeared where they were least expected, and left no trace. The galaxy began to realize that the humans were not just strong, they were impossible to fight with conventional tactics. Captain Noah Carter led his fleet to a Council staging area. Small human craft disabled communications, scrambled sensors, and left the area intact. Council fleets arrived moments later, confused and frustrated. They could not understand what had happened. Humans had not destroyed a single ship, yet the message was clear: do not underestimate us. Admiral Lucas Gray spoke to his commanders. "Remember Ethan Cole, one human executed, one mistake that awakened us. We do not act out of revenge, we act out of necessity. Precision, patience, and control are our weapons." On another front, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks disabled a fleet in orbit around a Council mining planet. Drones disrupted engines and sensors. The fleet reported interference, but no ships were destroyed. Civilians and workers went about their business, unaware that humans had silently entered their space and tested their defenses. "They move without killing," Varric said, watching the reports. "And yet, fear spreads faster than we can react. How is this possible?" The Council worlds were in chaos. Supply lines failed. Patrols could not find humans. Communications were unreliable. Rumors spread that humanity had returned with entire fleets hidden for decades. Some worlds began to panic. They had celebrated Ethan Cole's death. Now they realized they had made a fatal mistake. Back on Earth, Claire Bennett analyzed the Council's response. "They are panicking," she said. "Fear spreads faster than fleets. Our first strikes have shown them we exist. Now we can plan the next phase carefully." Lucas Gray nodded. "Observation first, warning second, action last. We will not destroy planets or innocent lives. We only show the cost of underestimating humanity." Noah Carter checked the status of his fleet. All ships were ready, weapons powered but not engaged. Shields were up, sensors active, cloaking devices functioning. They were prepared for anything, but humanity's goal remained the same: caution and patience. They would not strike recklessly. They would teach the Council the lesson of a lifetime. In Council halls, Commander Varric called emergency meetings. "We do not understand them," he said. "We cannot find them. Our patrols fail. Supply lines fail. Communication is gone in some sectors. Humans are ghosts faster than anything we can track. We underestimated them." His officers argued, blamed each other, and grew fearful. They had believed humans were defeated. They had celebrated Ethan Cole's death. Now they understood that one execution had been enough to awaken an entire species. Far in space, hidden human stations prepared to support the next moves. Logistics, weapons, and fleets were ready. Centuries of planning had allowed humanity to survive, adapt, and wait. Now the time had come to show the galaxy the cost of its arrogance. Lucas Gray addressed his commanders. Remember, our goal is not revenge, it is understanding. The galaxy must know that humans are not weak, they are not defeated. One execution has awakened us. Now we move with patience and precision, and we teach every world the lesson it ignored. Small fleets moved through Council space, observing, testing, and disabling where necessary. Council commanders scrambled, trying to locate them, but humans appeared where they were least expected. Fear spread like wildfire across systems. The Council had no idea how to respond. And somewhere, hidden on a forgotten station, Ethan Cole's final message pulsed. It was a warning and a reminder. Humanity had been patient. They had waited for centuries. One human had been executed, and the galaxy had made its mistake. Now humans were here, and nothing would ever be the same. As the stars watched silently, human fleets continued to move. They had not destroyed a single planet, but every Council world felt the weight of their presence. Intelligence, patience, and planning had given humans the advantage. And the galaxy was beginning to understand the truth. Humans were back, and they were unstoppable when underestimated. Captain Noah Carter looked at the stars, thinking of Ethan Cole. One human was enough, he said softly. One mistake. And now the galaxy will burn in understanding, not in anger. Claire Bennett smiled faintly. It is only the beginning. They have not yet seen the full power of humanity. Admiral Lucas Gray turned back to the map. Systems flickered, fleets moved, and hidden bases hummed. Prepare for the next phase. Observation is complete. Warning is underway. Soon, action may be necessary. The galaxy has learned to fear the humans they executed. One mistake changed everything. And humanity, silent and patient, moved through the Council's space like a shadow, waiting for the moment the galaxy would finally understand the price of underestimating them. The Council worlds were in chaos. Fleets could not find humans. Supply lines were disrupted. Communication networks were failing. Fear spread across the stars. Alien leaders argued, blamed each other, and panicked. They had believed humanity was weak. They had celebrated Ethan Cole's execution. Now they realized they had made a terrible mistake. On Earth, Admiral Lucas Gray watched the reports quietly. The hidden human fleets had done their job perfectly. Observation and warning had caused fear, confusion, and chaos. Now it was time to reveal more. Humanity's return was not just about showing strength. It was about truth. Scientist Lisa Moore studied intercepted Council communications. She noticed patterns in their responses, small clues that revealed how much the Council had lied. They planned to erase humanity quietly, she said. They always feared us, even when they claimed we were weak. Ethan Cole was sent as an observer, not a criminal. His execution was meant to be final, but it awakened us. Captain Noah Carter looked at her. So everything they did, every lie, every plan has been exposed by one human death. Exactly, Lisa said, and now they are learning the cost. Claire Bennett projected maps of Council space. Planets that had supported Ethan's execution were marked. Fleets observed from hidden positions. Communications were jammed in small, targeted areas. Humans moved silently, but with purpose. Every action was designed to teach the Council a lesson, not to destroy lives unnecessarily. Lucas Gray addressed his commanders. Ethan Cole's role was clear. He was not a criminal. He was a human observer sent to see if the galaxy was ready for contact. The Council executed him, thinking it would end humanity. Instead, it triggered our return. Now we show the galaxy the truth. We move not as conquerors, but as guardians. On a Council world, Commander Varric read reports of missing fleets and strange anomalies. He could not understand them. Humans are ghosts, he said. They appear, disappear, and strike without warning. How is this possible? They were never gone, an officer whispered. They were always watching. Varric shivered. The reality was sinking in. Humans had prepared for centuries. They had studied every Council tactic, every fleet formation, every patrol route. They had built systems to survive, hidden fleets to strike, and knowledge to observe. The Council had celebrated Ethan Cole's death, believing it would end all threats. They were wrong. Far away, Captain Noah Carter led a fleet past a Council defense station. The station detected them for a moment, then lost them. The humans had disabled communications, jammed sensors, and moved silently. No damage had been done, but the warning was clear. Humans could appear anywhere, and the Council could not stop them. "They are teaching us," Lisa Moore said. "Every move is precise, every strike is a warning. They do not kill unless necessary. They want us to understand the cost of our mistakes." On another front, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks observed a Council command hub. Ships moved in and out, unaware of hidden human sensors. Humans studied fleet patterns, defense protocols, and patrol routes. They collected intelligence without alerting the Council. Every anomaly, every disruption gave them more knowledge. In Council halls, panic grew. Leaders demanded answers, but none existed. Fleets could not find humans. Planets could not communicate reliably. Supply lines were broken. The Council had believed they controlled the galaxy, but fear had replaced confidence. "We underestimated them," Varric admitted reluctantly. "We thought humans were weak. We executed one, and now we face a species we cannot predict." Back on Earth, Lucas Gray smiled faintly. "One human, one mistake," he said. "The galaxy has forgotten the lesson. Now they will remember. Ethan Cole showed us the cost of patience. And patience is our advantage." Claire Bennett projected a simulation of Council fleets. Humans moved strategically, silently, and precisely. They disrupted communications, disabled navigation, and revealed weaknesses without destroying anything. Council commanders could not understand their tactics. Humans were everywhere, yet nowhere. "They are impossible to fight conventionally," Lisa Moore said. "Their knowledge of our systems, our tactics, and our technology is complete. They move faster than we can react." The Council worlds began to change. Planets that had supported Ethan's execution isolated themselves, cutting communication lines. They feared humanity more than anything. Rumors spread that humans could strike at any time, anywhere. The galaxy had learned its first lesson. Humans were not weak, and one execution had awakened a species that would never be underestimated again. In hidden human bases, engineers and technicians worked silently. Weapons were ready but inactive. Fleets were cloaked. Sensors monitored Council movements. The galaxy would be shown the truth, but only at humanity's chosen pace. Patience, observation, and precision were key. Lucas Gray addressed his commanders again. "Remember, we do not seek revenge. We do not destroy without reason. Our goal is understanding and balance." The Council thought they could erase humanity. They executed Ethan Cole, thinking it would end us. Now we move to show them the truth. Far from the Council, Captain Noah Carter prepared a fleet for a controlled strike. Small human ships moved into position near a Council supply line. Sensors were jammed, communication disrupted, but no ships were destroyed. The Council fleets arrived moments later, confused and panicked. Humans had been there, moved, and left. The message was clear: we are everywhere and you cannot stop us. On a planet that had cheered Ethan's death, civilians noticed strange events. Communication blackouts, missing ships, unexplained power surges. Council authorities claimed it was a malfunction, but fear spread. Humans had returned, and the galaxy began to feel it. "They are not destroying anything," Varric said, watching the reports. "And yet, we are afraid. How is this possible?" "Because they control the information," a junior officer said. "Every move is calculated, every strike is a lesson. They are teaching us, not killing us." In a hidden base, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks recorded data from Council patrols. Every movement, every defense pattern, every anomaly was logged. The humans had decades of preparation, and now they were using it to guide their strategy. Patience, observation, and precise action were their tools. Claire Bennett projected the Council worlds on a large screen. "They are learning nothing from their own defenses. Humans appear, disrupt, and vanish. They cannot fight us with conventional fleets. They cannot predict our moves, but we know theirs." Lucas Gray nodded. "And that is enough. The galaxy will see the truth slowly, carefully. We are not conquerors, we are guardians." Ethan Cole's execution has started the process. Now we complete it. On another front, scientist Lisa Moore analyzed Council communications again. She discovered lies, false reports, and manipulations. The Council had hidden the truth about humanity for centuries. They had feared humans but claimed dominance. Ethan Cole had been sent as a test, an observer, not a criminal. His death had been the Council's greatest mistake. "They believed they could erase us," Lisa said. "But humans never forget, and they always adapt. One execution has awakened the entire species. Now they move with patience, precision, and intelligence." Far in space, Captain Noah Carter led a fleet past Council defenses again. Ships observed, recorded, and left without detection. Humans had the advantage of centuries of preparation. Council fleets were visible and vulnerable, but humans did not attack recklessly. Every move was calculated to teach, warn, and observe. "We are ghosts," an alien officer said nervously. "We cannot fight what we cannot see." Humans are everywhere, and we are blind. Back on Earth, Lucas Gray watched the Council's panic grow. "Good," he said quietly. "They must understand that one human can awaken a species. They must learn patience, strategy, and respect." Ethan Cole's final act has done what centuries of observation could not. Now we guide the galaxy to balance. Humanity moved silently, carefully, and without unnecessary destruction. Fleets observed, disabled communications, and disrupted patrols. The Council could not respond effectively. Fear replaced confidence. Planets that had once mocked humans now questioned everything. The galaxy had learned a lesson the Council could not teach. In a hidden station, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks smiled faintly as he logged data. Every anomaly, every disruption, every Council panic was proof of Ethan Cole's legacy. One human executed, and the galaxy would never forget. Humanity had arrived not as a conqueror, but as a force that demanded respect and understanding. Claire Bennett projected the final map for the day. Council worlds were destabilized, supply lines broken, fleets confused. Humans remained hidden but in control. "We have shown them the truth," she said. "They know we are back, they fear us. Now they must learn patience and respect." Lucas Gray nodded. "And tomorrow we continue. Observation, warning, and teaching. Humanity will never strike blindly. We move with precision. The galaxy will understand the cost of one mistake. Ethan Cole's death was the spark. Now we guide the fire." And in the silence of space, hidden human fleets waited. They had not destroyed a world. They had not killed unnecessarily. But every Council fleet, every Council world, every leader had felt the weight of humanity's presence. One execution had awakened a species. One mistake had changed the galaxy forever. Humanity was not finished. It had only begun. The galaxy was quiet, not because humans had left, but because the Council and its worlds had learned to fear them. Fleets were confused, supply lines broken, communication networks disrupted. Fear had replaced pride, and alien leaders no longer laughed at humans. They had realized that one execution had awakened a species they had underestimated for centuries. On Earth, Admiral Lucas Gray reviewed the reports. Hidden fleets had moved through Council space without destruction. Intelligence had been gathered. Anomalies had been observed. Humanity had made its presence clear. The Council worlds now understood that humans were back, and they were stronger than ever imagined. "We have done what was necessary," Lucas said quietly to his commanders. "We have not destroyed planets. We have not killed unnecessarily." But every Council world feels the weight of one mistake. Ethan Cole's death has changed everything. Captain Noah Carter leaned over the table. "What now? Do we continue striking or do we wait?" "We wait," Lucas replied. "We are not conquerors, we are guardians. Our goal is to guide the galaxy, not destroy it. One mistake has awakened humanity. Now we teach balance, patience, and respect." Claire Bennett projected a map of the Council's core systems. Red dots marked planets that had supported Ethan's execution. Human fleets remained hidden nearby, observing and ready. Communication blackouts, sensor disruptions, and fleet interference continued. The Council was learning slowly, carefully, the cost of their arrogance. "We have given them time to think," Claire said. "Every fleet they send, every patrol they launch, every decision they make is observed. They are learning through fear, not through destruction." Far away, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks monitored a Council command station. Sensors detected small movements. Communications were disrupted again. No ships were destroyed. No lives were lost. Yet the humans had made their presence known. Council officers were panicking. The galaxy had begun to feel the true power of one species they had thought defeated. On a planet that had cheered Ethan Cole's death, citizens whispered rumors of humans returning. Small disturbances, missing fleets, and strange signals spread fear. Council authorities denied everything, but panic had already taken root. The galaxy had learned a lesson. Humans were not weak. They were patient, intelligent, and unstoppable when underestimated. Lucas Gray addressed his commanders again. "Remember, our mission is complete only when the galaxy changes. Observation, warning, and precision. We move with care, not anger. Humans do not strike blindly. We do not destroy for revenge. We correct mistakes." Captain Noah Carter nodded. We have the advantage of centuries of preparation. Council fleets are visible and vulnerable, but we have not attacked recklessly. Every strike, every disruption, every warning teaches a lesson. Claire Bennett projected simulations of Council worlds. Small human fleets moved strategically. Communication arrays were disabled, patrols disrupted. The Council fleets searched, confused, and failed. The galaxy had begun to feel the presence of humans again. Fear spreads faster than fleets, Lisa Moore said quietly. They do not destroy, yet every world knows humans are back. One human executed, and the galaxy has learned the cost. On Earth, Lucas Gray prepared for the next phase. Humanity would make its presence permanent, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Fleets moved into positions that allowed observation of every Council system. Hidden stations remained active, monitoring every fleet and communication network. Humans had prepared for centuries, and now they would ensure balance in the galaxy. Far in Council space, Commander Varric reviewed reports again. Fleets could not find humans. Supply lines remained unreliable. Communication networks were unstable. Planets that had once celebrated Ethan Cole's death now feared the species they had tried to erase. Panic had spread through the Council worlds. They had made one execution, and it had awakened humanity. They are not attacking directly, Varric said nervously. And yet, we cannot move without fear. We cannot act without hesitation. Humans are everywhere and nowhere. How do we fight what we cannot see? The reality was sinking in. Centuries of overconfidence, arrogance, and lies had blinded the Council. They had executed one human, thinking it would end a species. Instead, they had awakened it. Humanity moved with patience, intelligence, and precision. They did not destroy unless necessary. They taught the cost of mistakes through observation, warning, and disruption. On a hidden human base, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks smiled as he recorded fleet movements. Every Council mistake, every failed attempt to track humans, every panic report was proof of Ethan Cole's legacy. One human executed, and the galaxy had changed forever. Claire Bennett projected a final map of the day. Red dots marked Council worlds destabilized by human observation and disruption. Fleets were confused, planets uncertain, leaders panicked. Humans remained hidden but fully in control of the situation. The galaxy had learned its lesson without bloodshed. Lucas Gray addressed his commanders one last time for the day. Our work is not done. Observation and warning continue. Every Council world must understand the cost of arrogance. One human was executed, and the galaxy burned, not in anger but in understanding. Humans are guardians now. We guide, we protect, and we correct mistakes. Far away, Captain Noah Carter prepared a fleet to support remaining hidden bases. Sensors monitored Council fleets, patrols, and communication networks. Humans had not destroyed a single world. No lives had been lost unnecessarily. Yet every Council world felt the weight of humanity's presence. Fear had replaced pride, and arrogance had been erased. This is only the beginning, Claire said. They will learn patience, respect, and strategy. One execution awakened us. Now the galaxy will remember humans forever. On a Council world that had supported Ethan Cole's execution, leaders met in panic. We cannot fight them, one said. We do not know where they are, what they want, or when they will strike. They move faster than we can respond. They do not destroy, another admitted. But they control the information. Every disruption teaches a lesson. They are teaching us without killing. How do we fight that? Humanity's presence was everywhere in shadow. Fleets moved silently, observation stations monitored every Council movement, and communication networks were under careful control. Humans had returned not for revenge, but to teach the cost of one execution, one mistake. Admiral Lucas Gray reviewed the final reports of the day. Every fleet, every planet, every system had been observed. Anomalies had been caused, fleets disrupted, communication blocked. The Council had learned the lesson slowly, carefully, and without destruction. Humanity had returned as a force that demanded respect, patience, and understanding. One human executed, Lucas said softly. One mistake. The galaxy has learned, now we guide it. On Earth, the final preparations were made. Hidden fleets would remain in position, observation stations active, and all intelligence monitored. Humans did not seek war, only balance. They would protect the galaxy from cruelty, arrogance, and mistakes. One execution had awakened the species, and now they would ensure no other mistakes would go uncorrected. In the shadows of the galaxy, Lieutenant Ryan Brooks, Captain Noah Carter, Claire Bennett, and Lucas Gray observed the Council's fleets and worlds. The galaxy was quiet but not at peace. Every Council world had felt the weight of humanity's return. Fear and respect had replaced arrogance. One execution had changed everything. Lucas Gray looked at the stars through a viewport. Each star, each planet, each system was part of the new balance. "The galaxy thinks it is quiet," he said. "They do not know humans are everywhere, watching, guiding. We do not strike without reason. We do not destroy without cause. But one execution has awakened us, and the galaxy will never forget." Claire Bennett nodded. "They have learned patience, respect, and understanding. The lesson is complete. Humanity has returned not as conquerors, but as guardians." Captain Noah Carter smiled faintly. "One human was enough to awaken a species. One mistake changed the galaxy forever. Now we protect it." And in the quiet of deep space, hidden human fleets waited. Centuries of preparation had led to this moment. One human executed, one mistake. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy had learned its lesson. The stars shone silently as fleets observed, intelligence gathered, and humans waited. They did not seek war. They did not seek revenge. They were guardians, protectors of balance. One execution had burned the galaxy, not in fire but in understanding. Humanity would never be underestimated again. Lucas Gray looked at the galaxy one last time for the day. One human, one mistake, and now the galaxy belongs to no one. We guide, we protect, and we ensure the mistakes of the past are never repeated. Humanity is here, and humanity will endure. The galaxy was changed forever.